That is a good question. Who's Lilian Lightbourn? I would have to say Lilian Lightbourn is someone that's discovering herself and getting to know who she is underneath all the labels that other people have given me. And it's a great experience. I advise everyone to go this journey just to be a person that is always discovering constantly what you like and who you are. And also, I would have to say Lilian Lightbourne is bold, is ambitious, is a child of God, is fearfully and wonderfully made. Yeah, that's Lilian Lightbourne. Wow, how I started getting into modeling, I always knew as a child that I wanted to model. I don't remember exactly which age I decided that, hey, I want to be a model. I don't know which age that was, but I do remember when I was a child, I told my older sister, Keelan, that I wanted to be a modeler. And she corrected me and said, that's not how you say it, it's just model. And I was like, oh, okay, because that's when you're learning to put ERs on the last part of the word. So I do know that when I was younger, I wanted to do it, but I honestly don't know where that sparked from. Everyone always said I looked like Tyra Banks as a kid, and she is a supermodel, and everyone looked up to her. She was so beautiful, so I think that's what made it more intriguing. But as a child, when I got into middle school and end of primary school, I had really low self-esteem, and I don't think it showed on the outside, but I was teased a lot. So I always thought I was ugly for so long. I did not love my beauty at all. I didn't think I was beautiful. I always wanted to get like my ears redone, like stupid things like that, because my ears used to stick up when I was little, or I hated my nose, or I hated my freckles. And so I think that dream kind of went away for a little bit when I was in middle school. But and as I got into high school, I just started to embrace more of who I was, and I decided to enter a fashion show at Barkley. And I was only in S2, but it was an S4 show, and I didn't know anybody, but I was like, I'm gonna do it. And at the practices, I was so afraid to even walk. I was so afraid to just stand out. I was just like the quiet kid in the corner. So no one wanted me in their scenes. They were like, you don't want her, you can put her to the side or just put her, throw her in your scene. And the actual night of the show, it was an explosion. Like, I did so well. Everyone was so shocked that I did so good. And I think I surprised myself, and I started to feel pretty again. And I know that that's not come from a shallow place, but I felt like I started to rediscover who I was. Like, hey, I'm not what everyone said I was, like ugly and awkward and all those crazy things that kids call you. So, yeah. My freckles. People love my freckles. That's something that books me jobs all the time. When I go into castings, that's like one of the first things they talk about are my freckles, or the color of my eyes. And I grew into my ears. Like, my ears used to stick out a lot. So no one really mentions those, but definitely my freckles. Like, everyone loves them. And before everyone else loved them, I also learned to love them too. Because I used to think of ideas like, how can I get rid of them off my face as a child? And eventually I just learned that they're beautiful, and everyone else embraced them around me too once I started to like it. Yeah. I started in New York City by just a leap of faith. That's what I call it. My best friend, we were supposed to go to New York City for a week for her birthday when I was 19. And then everyone else canceled, and I still had my plane ticket. And I said, well, I'm still going. I'm not going to not go to New York City. That's huge. So I talked to my family members, and like, it was such a big team effort to get me there and to get me to see agencies. And I set up appointments. I just made phone calls. I made someone's bill high. I kept calling like international phone calls all the time to see when agencies were open, when were the open calls. And from there, I went to New York City, and I had family members like driving me around, or friends of family just there in New York City, just willing to help me with this dream. And I know the first yes I got, I was like, okay, this is it. And they helped me move out there. So that was like the first step. The challenges I had in the fashion world to first get recognized or anything like that. It's difficult for any model that's new because they're trying to figure out your look. They're trying to figure out, are you a girl that wears her hair curly? Are you a girl that wears her hair straight? Are you someone that is more commercial, which is you do more like fun ads like Old Navy, Macy's, like those type of things? Or are you a high fashion girl like Prada and Gucci, like those type of things? So it's kind of hard because you're trying to fit into something, but you don't know where you fit in, or people are telling you where you should fit in and you don't agree. Like someone might tell you, oh, you're supposed to do Target, but you're like, I want to do Prada. And it's so hard because they're telling you who you are. And that's the hard part, trying to discover what your look is. And from there, you go to see clients. And it's like you're selling your image to new clients. And you're hoping that they'll buy it, because when you're first starting, you're confident, but you're shy at the same time because you don't know anything. And you really need someone to help you and someone to show you. So luckily I had found a great set of friends and family out there that were so sweet to me and helped me along the way and gave me advice. That's what models need the most. New models are advice and a good foundation of friends. A day for me in New York City, if I have like a really crazy hectic day, I'm going to talk about those days, are like the best days, like during fashion week. That's one of the craziest times in New York City because you have so many castings per day. Let's talk about fashion week in the winter. I hate it. Everyone hates it because it's so cold. There's snow everywhere. Like my first fashion week in New York City, it was freezing cold. It was like the snow was all the way up to her. Maybe it's just because I never seen snow like that before, so it looked really high to me. And I didn't have on the right pair of shoes because I asked people what type of shoes I should wear, and they told me just to get regular boots and just get like waterproof soles at the bottom. They were so wrong because my feet were drenched at every casting and my feet were numb. So when I had to do like my little walk, it looked horrible because my feet were numb. And so it was really embarrassing. So it can be really busy. A typical day like that is you just running around constantly. You have to remember to eat food because you have so many castings back to back. Like some people get lunch breaks, but models, if you are on castings, you don't have time to stop and eat lunch a lot of the times, or you have to pack it with you because you have to run all the way from one side of the city all the way uptown to the other side to Brooklyn, back to the city. It's so all over the place. And a lot of times it can be really, you can feel defeated at the end of the day because you put in so much work to see these clients, and sometimes it will be just a no. They'll just be like, thank you. You would spend an hour getting ready, an hour on the train to get to your casting, and then the casting's only 2 seconds. So that right there is can feel horrible, but so then you have those really successful ones where it's worth it, and that becomes a client that you work with all the time. Yeah.